Welcome to this video. So tonight I wanted to explore the phenomenon of sound as it relates to presence. There's a famous story of a bodhisattva, the bodhisattva of compassion. This is a Buddhist term, bodhisattva. It's a very venerated person who has attained a deep state of realization. But the historical bodhisattva, the bodhisattva of compassion, in Japanese Zen, named Kannon, apparently it is said attained realization by attending to sound, by attending to hearing solely. He sat by the ocean day after day, attending to the hearing capacity, the ability to hear, and at some point he was realized. He woke up. So I wanted to explore this in a very direct way. If somebody who hasn't had the realization of the sense of I am, or the pure sense of I, or pure consciousness, this may not be quite as accessible. It doesn't mean that it won't be helpful. It certainly can be, but what I'm pointing to in this exploration is direct experience, direct perception, non-dual, experiencing from the inside of the phenomenon itself. So sound, experiencing sound. Awareness aware of itself as the sound phenomenon. So to begin, you might want to just take a moment to relax the body. Let attention move naturally into the spaces of the body. Any sensations that draw attention will be noticed. In direct experience, the sensations in the feet, the knees, the belly, the hands, the shoulders, the face. If there are any areas of tension, the awareness in these areas, and we'll start to relax that. Start to notice the boundless nature of the sensations of the body. When directly experienced, there's not an edge, there's not an inside, and there's not an outside to this sensation. It's not located, it's not locatable, yet is completely all-encompassing, vivid, and pristine. If you just take a minute to let that relax. We can begin to turn attention to sound, to the ambient sounds in the room. The hum of any mechanical devices, computers, air conditioning. Just let attention gravitate naturally to those spaces. It's a dilated, relaxed attention. Doesn't miss anything. Doesn't hold on to anything. Doesn't move toward or away from anything. It's just the ambient sound hearing itself. The ambient sound fully aware. if you're able to explore this in direct perception or in direct experience, you'll probably notice a background buzzing in the ears. That's not in the ears. We normally filter this out all the time, all day long. Our brains are wired to do this, to filter out the unimportant and repetitive. But when we become this present, when we explore this directly, it's an unfiltered experience. So that ring is there, intermixed with the sounds in the room, intermixed with the ambient sounds of the air conditioning or the hum of an electronic device, the sound of the voice, intermixed. No separation or dividing line. Now if we gently explore the attention space, recognizing if there are any areas where the attention is tight or not fully resonating with the sound cloud in the room, we might start to naturally relax in those noticed areas. So if you have access to this spontaneous space of sound that's vivid, very, very encompassing of your entire experience, without boundary, without location, without edge or center, then you can start to notice a couple of different aspects of it. So one aspect is that it is very much empty, has no substance, no backside to it, no underlying nature, no fixation, no quality. It's very, very light. Like it's almost like not even there. There's no hearer. There's no sound. There's only hearing. And then if we look closely, but in a very relaxed way at the hearing, we see, we hear, experience, no substance. Nothing substantial or locatable. We could call that the empty aspect or the no thing side. And without moving our attention purposely, keeping it dilated out, relaxed into the sound, we might start to notice a different aspect to the sound. A very vivid, very all-encompassing, intimate never not hear aspect. Like, that's the only thing there is in the entire universe, is the sound, the hearing. Hearing fills up the universe. There's no outside. The hearing holds everything. You could call this the presence side, or the everything side, the full side. And then, just out of curiosity, not out of any sort of attention, intention, but just out of a natural curiosity, you might start to explore whether there is a dividing line between the empty side or the no-thing side, the unheard side, the unborn side, and the vivid, all-encompassing, interpenetrated with all experience side. Those two aspects, those two sides, are not sides. They're the most fundamental ways in which our mind can seemingly divide up experience. In the realm of consciousness, like in the awakening to the sense I am, this corresponds to subject and object, the subject and object construct in consciousness. But unlike consciousness, there's no sense of a universal identity. The sound itself is its own identity. And it's only there when it's there. And the awareness of the sound cannot be found to be separate from the sound. Fully immersed. And endlessly releasing. So if you explore in this way, you'll be able to recognize at a more and more instinctual level the nature of phenomenon. The nature of the only access you have to reality, which is the sense gates. And this can be practiced with sound, with the visual gate, seeing colors and shapes, movement, and body sensations, as we touched on at the beginning of the video. And when there's something to taste and smell, it's also experienced in those gates as well. And as we penetrate this deeper and deeper, it starts to become very clear that this is all there is. That one sound is everything that could ever possibly be. It's the entire universe humming, the entire universe chirping, the entire universe air conditioning, or humming like an air conditioner, humming as the air conditioner. Similarly, if there's activity in like the mind gate, the consciousness gate, the same approach can be taken. The vividness of a thought form, not the content of the thought, but the form of it, the form of the thought, the movement of consciousness that stirs and becomes thoughts. Even if there's some personal will introduced that seems to inflate those thoughts and make them, solidify them and start to make them feel like a real world of the past and the future. We can explore the vivid sensory nature of the thoughts as they form out of consciousness. And we can also explore that you actually can never find a thought. You can be vividly aware of consciousness. You can be vividly aware of I, of the sense of I or I am, but you'll never find it. You can never find it by looking. If you look directly, it's not there. So that's the no thing side. So the consciousness gate or thought gate is not different fundamentally in direct experience. So this is really good news. You don't need to find the perfect teacher. You don't need to find the perfect meditation technique. The raw material for awakening or deepening realization beyond awakening is immediately available to you at all times. This can be practiced in silence when you would typically be meditating, or when you're doing simple tasks. And it can also be practiced when you are engaged in more strenuous activity, or even thought, even thinking, solving problems, communicating, interacting with other people. This can also be practiced. Although, if you spend some time practicing it by yourself, when there's less distraction, you will sort of build the groundwork for it, so that when things are busier, more complicated situations, or more demanding situations, more demanding of your attention, it comes a little more naturally. Over time, it will be seen to be simply the way it is. It will be seen to be effortless and spontaneous and immediately present at all times. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, let me know, and good luck with your practice.